Hey guys, this is Danny Boy. We are going to take a quick detour to Ontarom before going to Sanctuary and starting that all up. I'm going to use the Incisor just because I get very little use out of it. It's not a terrible weapon by any means, but it's not something that I particularly enjoy. It's just not what I want in a sniper rifle, generally speaking. I did respec into a max level Carnage. I'm going to be trying that out. Carnage is fine. It doesn't really work with what I want, though. I was kind of hoping I could use it to detonate Cryoblast, but it didn't really seem to work that way from what I saw. And the Incisor, you can get multiple headshots with it, especially with solid time dilation or something. But it's not really a super precise weapon by any means. It has really noticeable spread. It has recoil and everything. It's a lot like it was in the previous game. The big difference being it has way more ammo than it used to, so its inefficiency isn't anywhere near as detrimental as it used to be. And you can no-scope with it when you're close up. Just go for body shots and do some damage, kind of like the Indra, though the Indra is far more accurate. The Indra is actually an incredibly accurate weapon when it's not scoped, even at very long ranges. So right there, I did get a couple of headshots in a row. That was mainly due to the time dilation coupled with the fact that he was frozen. Always helps. Hello. Ontarom is another fun N7 mission. It's really wide open. There's a lot of different paths you can take to get around your opposition and take them out. I generally always enjoy the N7 missions. I really hate Sanctum, though. Sanctum sucks. Sanctum's a pain in the ass, and especially if you go to it right in the beginning of the game. I also don't really care for Scion that much, just because it's not so much the map, it's more so just the way that the fight is scripted in the single player. It's really boring, it's too easy. At least that's what I think. Where did you come from? As far as getting around your opposition goes, and the different paths you can take and so on, that also applies to the enemies. It's easier for them to flank you as well. Like so. Helps to look at radar. Radar in the bottom right corner when you pause. So once I am done with the Sentinel, I am going to start up a new series. I'm going to start up a Powers series, a How-to Powers series, where it's just going to be me and just kind of demonstrating the different powers in the game and showcasing how best to use them, or at least how I perceive is best to use them. And I've waited a while for that. It was actually recommended to me by a commenter that I do the series, and I do definitely take your guys' feedback into consideration. When things are requested, I do my best to just acquiesce. The thing is, though, sometimes it's just not doable or what have you. I mean, I can't say I'm going to, whenever you ask for something, I'm going to do it. That's not going to happen. For whatever reason, there's a lot of different reasons that may be. But I thought this was a good idea, and I've been meaning to do it for a while, but I wanted to show the series. Why are you guys all ganging up on me? I wanted to show the series from the perspective of a high-level character so that I could show all the powers with all their evolutions rather than doing just a low-level character and showing very low evolutions of them. So it's kind of the opposite of how I show my weapons series, where I show the weapons just unupgraded, even unmodded most of the time. This one, I'm going to just show how effective a powers build would actually be, and just purely relying on powers. So I'll just be using a Predator, just a pistol, and I won't ever actually use it. I'll be killing opponents solely using powers, and I am going to have different episodes here. I'm going to have, generally speaking, I'll be doing one episode for 2 powers. So on the Engineer, I'll probably dedicate one episode to Cryoblast and Incinerate, and just show how those work in tandem. In another episode, I'll dedicate it just to drones, just using combat drone and turret and killing enemies purely with combat drone and turret, and that's probably going to be a challenge, but I'm still going to try. And We'll see if that works out. This is all in the future, so this all might change, but this is my current plan. And then, you know, also use Overload, and... Am I forgetting the power? Well, anyway, I'll also be showing episodes focused on the bonus skills now that I have them all unlocked. That was another thing I was waiting for. I was waiting to unlock all the bonus skills, and that took the entirety of my Vanguard playthrough to finish all that up. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to do the first part of the series will be the Vanguard, rather the Engineer, then the Vanguard, and then the Sentinel. And then, as I beat more playthroughs, I'll be showing the Infiltrator, and then the Adept, and then the Soldier. But if there is overlap, I won't do, you know, the same powers twice, so I'm not going to do the Throw on the Sentinel and then also do Throw on the Adept, unless I feel like there's some crazy synergy with Throw and the Adept's powers that is significantly different from Throw and just the Sentinel's powers, especially if I can also just use party members to duplicate, you know, the Adept's powers. Like Singularity, well, I can just use Liara and have her use Singularity and then kind of showcase that in the Adept video. I do, you know, want to make things quick. I don't want these episodes to drag on and what have you, just like when I do my playthroughs, my Let's Plays or whatever. So that is the current plan. I also need to quickly finish up my target practice series and stuff like that. And again, you know, I listen to your guys' feedback. The heavy weapons for the target practice series, I did those purely because somebody asked me to do them. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done the heavy weapons, but somebody requested it, and they have gotten a lot of views, so I guess other people are interested to an extent. So, you know, feel free to leave feedback. I take great interest in it. I have done many, many things directly because of viewer feedback. And I really appreciate it. I really, really do. I am just one person, and I can't think of everything, so thank you, guys. We are finishing this off. Haven't really talked about it too much. It is just, you know, it's Ontarom. It's pretty standard stuff. One-shotted it. Didn't have trouble. I know it really well at this point. Exposing myself a bit too much in this last part. I'm getting pretty near death a lot of the time. I want to just go and click on the console and just kind of finish this, but I haven't really gotten the opportunity, at least from what I've seen. I haven't been paying any attention to the gameplay, so maybe I had tons of opportunities. I don't know. I just kind of zone out when I go into one of my tangents. Definitely would recommend putting more points in Overload sooner. Of all the things I did in this playthrough, that was one of my big regrets as well. Would have had way less trouble with Marauders, way less trouble with Phantoms if I just evolved Overload to the 4th evolution that increases its damage by 30 or 40% or whatever it is. Would have made a lot of things easier to deal with, but for the vast majority of the game I only had 2 points in it, just so that it would recharge faster. The Sentinel did have a lot of different things that I wanted to pour points into. Really wanted to level up the tech armor as quickly as possible just because it was my signature, that's the word I'm looking for, signature skill. Even though I really didn't need to. It was also helpful to level up quickly so that it would not be as detrimental to my power cooldowns. But this is over, guys. So thanks for watching, stay tuned for more, and have a good one.